And continuing from the last movie, I've gone back to my blog again, and I have an entry here called Tablespaces, or Tablespace and Segment Sizes. That's actually not the best name I could have given it, so I'll change it shortly. But what I want to show you is, for instance, the ways that I can use queries to examine these different files. There's one file I didn't mention, or one view, called DBA temp files. All this one does is, as opposed to looking at data files, which are data files, there are separate files inside Oracle called temp files for storing the files. I just don't like that pop-up list. It irritates me, but I don't want to turn it off because it's an inherent part of SQL Developer. Here's the temp file. So I can also go back to the blog, get both the temp files and the data files, and use a union to pull both of them. They are essentially the same stuff. And I go here on this line, the colon's down here, there's no colon on any of these lines. I could pick any of these lines and hit Control and Enter, and it would still execute the query. All the lines back until it gets, I guess, another colon, or a blank line, I think. Here you have sysorg, system, undo, users, and then temp, which is a different type of data file. It's for sorting. It's a special type of data file. And back to the blog again, and here's another query. Now inside SQL Developer, I would just want to use this stuff. So let's go back to SQL Developer, and let's go and run this here again. Up, Control Enter, and we get various bits of information reinterpreted, basically the sizes of these files. Now the reason why I said I only want to use that piece is because this formatting is all for SQL+. So let's go and run PuTTY, connect to my Linux server. I'm going to connect. I've got to go through root, SQL+. Let's just log in sysdba because it's simple. I'm going to right click to paste, and obviously the line size has wrapped it around. I'd have to set wrap off, and let's say lines 132, and then we get something sensible. Just a different way of doing it, a different tool. I could use this query and run this in SQL+. Now this query might take a long time to run in a very busy database. So what we'll do is we'll go to here, left click with the mouse on this window, right click, and it will run that query. That's pretty fast because there's nothing going on in this database. It gives me a picture of how much space I've got free in the different table spaces. Very useful in a really busy database where you need to watch the space. This looks at specifics on a temporary table space. This looks at the specific attributes within the table spaces themselves, and I can go to SQL+ on my server, right click, more information, and other different aspects that we don't need to go into the detail of. All I'm trying to show you is that you can look at things with these views. And here's something else as well, which is not relevant at this point, but segment space allows you a physical look at all the data in a database by segment, which is basically table, index, logical objects inside table spaces. And there happens to be nothing in there because I have a restriction in here. Obviously there's no owner in this database called that. So what I could do is I could copy and paste this into SQL Developer, Control V, and let's go and comment this out and hit Control Enter, and we should get a picture of segments in the database, depending on what restrictions I put here. That's table spaces and data files.